Good morning, Soul Fam. Excuse me. Good afternoon, if it's your afternoon, and good evening for those of you in Europe and the United Kingdom. Welcome once again to our week ahead, and this is from the 16th up until including the 23rd, because next Sunday I won't be here. I'm going to the theatre, and so there won't be a live stream next Sunday. But I will leave you well prepared with Astrobites and plenty of other information going on to make sure you know what's happening astrologically, because we've been through, I think, certainly I felt it, some really tough energy over the last few days. We had the Virgo full moon lunar eclipse on Thursday night, Friday morning. And it's been an incredibly powerful energy. And I'm just wondering how you guys are feeling. Please let me know in the chat and let me say hello. Oh, you poor thing, Andy, but you've still got flu. Day 4, you're out of bed. That's a good sign, but flu is nasty. Hi, Till. Nikki Hensel, Freedom Artist. Hi, good to see you. And Poonam and Essence Joy, AMAC. Yes, it's been intense. And I can tell you, I have suffered, oh dear, I'm trying to get this camera right. I don't want that in there. That's better. I have suffered just as much as all of you. It has just been, I tell you what, I have been, and let me know if any of you have felt like this. Andy, lots of tears. Okay. AMAC, it's been intense. Warm greetings to you, Jim. Good to see you. You got flu or eclipse hangover. Yes. I've been, yesterday, I actually felt like I had a hangover and I had no kind of excuse for it. I haven't been drinking because I don't drink anymore. Sometimes I may have the odd glass of wine, but I just don't drink. And so I've been, still, you found it super intense and tiring. All I've wanted to do is sleep, but it hasn't always been possible. And I've been struggling with kind of, it's like a crisis of faith, a kind of just absolutely really feeling impotent and unable to be effective in any way. Essence Joy, you've got sleep issues and tiredness as well. And you had a bath with Epsom salts. You hate baths. Oh my God. Hello, Shirley. Good to see you. You've had headaches and super tired. Swimming upstream against the current, tiring, angsty. Yeah. I do think it will change after we have the spring equinox, which of course is on Thursday. Thank goodness, the 20th. I'm just scrolling down through my notes to find it. Yeah, the 20th this week, we have the spring equinox and the sun will go into Aries. And that's why I've put a nice bright color on today to try and lift the energy. And, you know, I do this other channel with Sarah Sand-Smith, who's a hypnotherapist, and it's called Channeling and Stranger Things. And I've just uploaded a video on that channel for you to check out, because we were going to do a past life regression today. And I felt so basically SH1T that there was just no way I was in any fit state to be taken into a deep state of relaxation and taken back to a past life. So we actually have done another video, which we've called Spiritual Crisis. So pop over there later when it's fully uploaded. It won't be uploaded for about another hour or so. And check it out. And oh, Rebecca, you are so welcome. Lola, hi. Your Aries ascendant looks forward to getting out of this rut and this stasis. I know, hasn't it been awful? It's just been absolutely, oh God, terrible. But On other notes, I think it's interesting to just be reminded about the Virgo eclipse energy, because remember, this eclipse lasted for approximately 6 hours. So that meant the light of the moon was shadowed, or the light on the moon, because it's actually the light reflecting onto the moon from the sun, was shadowed by the earth for 6 hours. So what that suggests in astrology is that the energy and the effects and the potential enormous change, benefits hopefully, can take over the next 6 months. So take that on a personal level and take that on the world stage. So everything that we've seen unfolding on the world stage over the last few days, and I think I've kind of consciously chosen to switch off and not watch the news, because it is just too it's too hard. I think one has to put all of the news on the I'll deal with that tomorrow. But of course, actually, that's been part of the problem in Europe. Europe has sat back on its haunches for too long over the last 60 years. And Europe, I think, in general, is getting a big wake-up call. And I think this lunar eclipse is part of that process. And, I'm looking at the astrology chart for tomorrow, which is the 17th and is also St. Patrick's Day. And we have the Sun conjunct the North Node. I'm not going to go into too much depth with it because I've got an astrobite coming out later on tonight, just for tomorrow for St. Patrick's Day, although I completely forgot when I recorded it that it was St. Patrick's Day. So I'm just going to, I'm going to actually tell you St. Patrick's story, because I thought sometimes it's good and metaphorically helpful to be reminded of these stories. And let's have a look, because tomorrow the Sun is conjunct the North Node in Pisces. And remember, the nodes have only just recently changed signs. And the Sun is in the last degrees of Pisces. And I think that's why we've all felt so much kind of as almost as if one is drowning in this massive ocean. And I did mention, and I can't remember, I think it was on yesterday's astrobite about Mercury retrograde, that there's been a bad oil spillage in the North Sea from 2 tankers that collided, and the heartbreak that gives me and millions of others about the wildlife, the sea animals, the sea mammals that are affected by that. And, as I'm saying that, I'm sort of thinking, ooh, where's Sedna? And of course, Sedna is just in the early degrees of Gemini, which is quite interesting because, excuse me, oh dear. So listen, I'm just having a look at what you're saying. Pre-birth of sorts. Okay, Jim, nice. Like that idea. Nice idea. The Sun conjunct the North Node is more about our destiny. And I think pre-birth is quite a good way to describe that. I think if you have ideas, plans, projects that you want to initiate, then they can gestate through this week in a sense, because we have the Sun conjunct the North Node, then the Sun is conjunct Neptune, and then the Sun will be conjunct Venus. And so you've got this kind of moving energy, because the Sun is going to go into Aries and then swiftly afterwards conjunct Venus in Aries. So we are, hi Carrie, good to see you. Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing you too. And I must double check the time because I'm getting ever so confused with my American clients at the moment. This is for all of you and anyone that's got a session booked with me this week because you've gone on to daylight saving and we haven't yet. And I've got everything written down and I'm thinking, oh dear, I'm going to have to check, where does this person live? What is the time zone? How many hours difference? Because poor Carrie, I left waiting for an hour because she was on daylight saving and I wasn't. So I have to double check these things. Let me see what. So Essence Joy, birthday on Wednesday the 19th. Looking forward to Saturn and Neptune going into Aries. It's been a lot. Happy birthday on the 19th. That's fantastic. You've been round the sun many times, I'm presuming. And, you know, really wish you are at the end of Pisces. So you've got all this energy, the North Node, Neptune, my goodness, on your sun. So that is like supercharging your psychic powers and kind of psychic abilities, and also your empathy, and drowning in so much empathy that sometimes it can be quite overwhelming. So yes, you've had daylight savings. The Wishing Pool Tarot, hello, my love. You were feeling good, moving on. X redirected, back at not quite square one. Oh, no. But it is a little bit like that at the moment. I've been feeling for the last week or so, it's like Groundhog Day. I just keep thinking, well, it's the same thing. I'm just back to the beginning. And pre-Mercury retrograde, which started yesterday, I was already getting technical issues with this thing. Until I realized what had happened, I was thinking, oh my God, it's completely FUCKED. Because I like to try and be kind of mindful of community standards on YouTube and not swear or use profanities. But every time I tried to make a video, it went into kind of when it goes, sleep mode. And what had happened, I'd done the latest update and it had kind of reset everything to kind of where it was. And so I had to go in and change the settings so that it would not switch off mid-video. So that is almost a typical Mercury retrograde kind of experience. But interestingly, it was once Mercury had gone retrograde. So today was when I realized, oh, hang on a minute. Let me Google that. And then found out that that was the case. And I'm just seeing your sun is at 28 degrees, Essence of Joy. Yeah. Well, I mean, very, very happy returns. And you certainly have some powerful energy. And of course, you're going to have Saturn going over your sun for the last time, or nearly last time. So you are really being put through the meat grinder, we could say. Jim, you're the last of Pisces, the 20th. Wow. So you are just in Pisces before it tips into Aries. So again, you must be going through very similar experiences, Jim, with kind of almost feeling a kind of psychic overwhelm of the spiritual kind of overwhelm of everything that is just completely almost drowning in that spiritual kind of sort of numinosity. And you know, it's hard work. Beth, I see you're saying restless sleep, and odd dreams. And right, you're 29 degrees, so you're at that anorectic degree. My God. This is just what it's making me think, Jim, is that you are here to do something profoundly important. I don't know whether you've done it yet, but because you're just on that cusp of moving into Aries, it's like you hide in the wings, and it's about moving forward into the light. This is why I put this color on today. I wanted to get that feeling of spring. I wanted to move myself into the light, because I have felt very much in the dark on every single level and making some ridiculous mistakes with bookings and emails and all of this kind of thing. And I just want to say, I have emailed a couple of people today. Please don't think I'm bonkers, but I see you written in my diary, and then I have no recollection of what we actually agreed to do. So please forgive me if you're watching this and you get this email saying, are we meeting this week? Because I've got you written down, but I don't remember that we made this booking. And if we are meeting, what are we actually doing? Because obviously sometimes I have, follow-up sessions, and with the follow-up sessions, some people I see on a more regular basis. Just for all of you to know that I do offer that as a kind of a, once you've had your initial sessions, some people feel they would like regular top-ups, and so we organize that on a sort of private basis. So that does go on. You're welcome, Jim. But you haven't told me, have you done what you're meant to be doing? And Parry, you're here, good to see you. Love is the sum of our lives and doesn't require sacrifice. No, yes, I guess not. Yes. Oh, wow. Yeah. Listen, let's move on to St. Patrick's Day, the top of the morning to you. And I don't know if Janice is here yet, but, top of the morning, and that's my little bit of Irish accent. I think it sounds Northern Irish rather than Southern Irish, but there we go. So, St. Patrick's Day, Sun conjunct the North Node. I've got an astrobite coming up about it, but it is really very much about spiritual growth, destiny, purpose. And you've got bacon and cabbage, Andy, with your Irish in-laws tonight. I love it. Yes, Lola, I know Skype is going away in May, and Skype is going to move everything onto Teams. So I'm hoping it'll be a smooth transition. Hi, Janice. Top of the morning to you. Pour me a pint of Guinness, or pull me a pint of Guinness for St. Patrick's Day. Yes, I currently do my consultations via Skype, and Skype is going to be no more from the beginning of May. So they are apparently migrating to Teams, and all I have to do is find out how one records a session via Teams. It is just so, this technology, don't even suggest Zoom. I had such problems with Zoom. I am never going there again because it's too long a story, but it is like a quadruple Mercury retrograde situation that just doesn't get any better. I know there is Teams. I mean, some of you, if you're on good old Apple, we can do FaceTime. But I don't know how to record. You'd have to record it on another device or something. So I just put that out there for those of you that are due perhaps to have sessions with me, or maybe hopefully Teams will suffice and work, and it'll be easy for me to see how to use it. A card for next week, the Star. Ask the universe for assistance. Healing can also take place, and an opportunity for wish fulfillment. I love that. I think today we'll do a card for the week in a minute when we've got there. I think that's lovely, Wishing Pool Tarot. Thank you so much. Beth, Gemini rising, Taurus sun, was having Mercury retrograde fumbles last Monday. Couldn't remember anything. Oh God, so it's not just me. But tomorrow we have this energy of the sun with the node, which is like calling us. It's calling us and pushing us towards spiritual and emotional growth. So you're welcome to Wishing Pool Tarot. And I think today, tomorrow, Tuesday, we're going to feel where we might have felt spiritually disconnected or distant, because certainly that's how I felt in the last probably 2 weeks, I would think, the energy leading up to the full moon. I felt so disconnected and just just not there. And this energy of the sun conjunct the North Node, and then, as I say, it's going to be conjunct Neptune, I think is going to reconnect any of us who have felt that disconnect and help us get out of our own way. Because I know what I do. I start to stay too much in here. And I'm sure many of you do that too, because it's what we do. We have to surrender our ego, which is controlling this, to that higher purpose. And if we can release our personal attachments in favor of faith of our destiny unfolding in the way that it is meant to unfold, which comes from the sun conjunct the North Node, then it will make the next few days really fruitful. And we will feel, I think, a sense of inner clarity, wisdom, and freedom. Also remember, with this sun conjunct the North Node, we can feel kind of caught in that karmic encounters. We may just meet a stranger, but we somehow feel as if they have a message for us, or we have a message for them, and that there has been some link in a past life with that person. So a lot of, I think, wounds that we have in this life, or maybe wounds from a past life, can resurface at this time for healing. And Jim, I love it. You're tying your own shoelaces together. That is classic. That is lovely. That is lovely. I think we have to really work hard at releasing limiting beliefs, because the energy is in Pisces, it dissolves. It's trying to dissolve the old structures to promote the new growth, which we get when the sun moves into Aries on Thursday. So let me just tell you quickly, and I've got it written down because I wouldn't remember all of this, but I will just pick out the relevant parts. The story of St. Patrick, because you never know, sometimes when we bring these archetypes into our conscious awareness, and considering, as I say, that St. Patrick is the patron saint of Ireland, he brought Christianity to the Irish people in the 5th century, and his life appears to be a mix of historical fact and legend. But as we know, he's one of the most celebrated saints on the planet. So who was St. Patrick? Well, it is presumed he was born around 385 AD in Roman Britain, probably in Scotland or Wales. And his real name was Mywin Succat. Just that's what it's written as. His family was Christian, and his father was a Roman official. This is really taking me down the road of Life of Brian, Monty Python, and Romans go home. And sorry, I just get carried away with that sometimes. I love Life of Brian. I think it's this hysterical film. Anyway, moving swiftly on. When Patrick was 16 years old, he was kidnapped by Irish raiders and sold into slavery in Ireland. And he was forced to work as a shepherd for 6 years, enduring hardship and loneliness. During this time, his faith deepened and he began to pray fervently. Now, I'm going to pause at that point, because if you think about it, this full moon that we've just had, I think, has pushed a lot of us into a state of spiritual darkness and crisis of faith. It is only when we are on our own and stripped bare that we can reconnect with the divine within. Because actually, we know on that inner level, we are all part of the all of the all. We are all one. And this is clearly what St. Patrick became aware of on some subliminal level. Hi, Tiffany. And Kay Ulrich, late to the party. But you're here. That's great. And if I could have a glass of Guinness or a pint of Guinness for St. Patrick's Day tomorrow, I would. And it's also very nice as a black velvet when you pour champagne in it. That's from my days when I had a holiday in Ireland years and years ago and was given lots of black velvets. Can't remember much what happened after that. Anyway, so one night, Patrick had a vision in which he was told to escape. And he fled, traveling 200 miles to the coast. I don't know why 200 miles is so significant, but there we go, where he found a ship that took him back home. Once reunited with his family, he had another vision, and this time it was of the Irish people calling him back to bring them Christianity. Now that is really interesting because, well, what happened was he was determined to follow the calling, so he trained as a priest, and he later apparently became a bishop. And around 432 AD, he returned to Ireland, where he began converting the Irish people to Christianity, traveled extensively, baptizing and establishing churches. And there's a famous legend that says he drove out all the snakes from Ireland, although scientists believe there were never any snakes there in the first place. But symbolically, it's about driving out paganism and evil. Well, actually, he didn't drive out all paganism. Paganism couldn't be put down anywhere because actually paganism, whilst we're on the subject as we come up to the spring equinox, paganism is the basis of kind of earth energy and really the kind of spiritual energy. Sort of what I'm thinking of is the five-pointed star, and that you have five elements: earth, fire, air, water, and spirit. So we bring in the astrology there with the earth, fire, air, and water. And in a sense, there is no way we can separate out. We cannot eliminate and close down a faith that was probably in many ways truer to nature and to the elements and to the planets, much more so than modern day, let's call it, Christianity. But what I add here is that there is something about the pagan ideas and the pagan ways of life which are much more livable and doable day by day. Nature, yes, paganism, being close to nature. And it doesn't have to be, witchy woo-woo. There is nothing wrong with Wicca and what I call, what you have to call witchcraft, but it is a craft. It is a, it is a way of life. And of course, what's so interesting is that paganism worshipped the goddess. I live on an island that has temples dating back thousands of years dedicated to the goddess. And Christianity borrowed the goddess and draped her in long blue robes. And she became Mary. I just think that's my take. So I just want to see what you're saying, Janice, because I know you're living in Ireland, County Antrim, the countryside. He was what was it? He was a shepherd, okay, around Slemish Mountain in County Antrim. Right. Thank you for that. I love it. I love it. Now, he died on March the 17th, around 461 AD, in a place called Saul in Ireland. And so hence St. Patrick's Day has become a celebration worldwide. And he's remembered today for his faith, courage, and missionary work, and how he really built Ireland's connection with Christianity. When we are fixed on one thing, you're saying, Parry, we become blind to everything else. Use your imagination and make space for miraculous opportunities. Yes, and you're so right, Parry. We have to compartmentalize everything, don't we? Instead of actually seeing that we can have an eclectic collection of understanding. We have to find our own religion, if we want to use that word. We have to find our own spirituality in the way that feels right for us, in the way that connects us with how we feel, and what we feel connects us with that divine intelligence, whatever that means for you. Now, if we move on to the 19th, Wednesday, when the sun is conjunct Neptune, we have even more deep, mystical, spiritual, intuitive creativity and sensitivity. Because, the sun is the core self, vitality, life, purpose. Neptune symbolizes dreams, spirituality, and transcendence. So when you've got the sun and Neptune meeting in Pisces, and Neptune rules Pisces, the energies blend and kind of, I think, enlarge they really magnify the themes of compassion, empathy, spiritual awareness, artistic vision. And I think this part of the week, this first part of the week, really picking up those energies today, Sunday, we are going to feel a heightened sense of our intuition. Where we may have been in the dark, which certainly that's where I've been for the last few days, we are coming out into the richness of understanding the spirituality of how things actually all make sense and kind of blend together. So this is good, creative, artistic energy that we've got over the first part of the week. I think we're going to have a lot of sensitivity and empathy towards suffering that we see, or suffering that we see in the world. And as I'm saying that, I'm remembering that in parts of America, you've had some terrible tornadoes, and, my love and healing and, just compassion to those of you that have been affected by this terrible weather, and also, for the loss of life. My sympathies go to you, and I send comfort, because this is when nature says, I'm in charge. Nature will always have the upper hand. Nature will always have the upper hand. And one of the downsides of the sun conjunct Neptune is we can get blurred boundaries. So we're not quite clear We may go too far in trying to empathize with another. We may get caught in illusion, delusion. It's difficult to distinguish reality from fantasy. We can get caught in self-deception. We can allow ourselves to be misled. And we may try to escape from the realities of life, by kind of just getting caught in the imagination and daydreaming. I think we're all going to feel this sense of yearning for spiritual enlightenment this week. I love that, Janice. You've got the daffodils out. Do you know? Oh, daffodils. There we go. That's what I've learned. That's what I'm wearing. I feel as if I'm preempting spring by wearing this color, but it was like I was just impatient. I can't wait. Whether that is a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know, but I do know that it has lifted my mood today. And my mood has been in a very dark place for several days. And I know it was the Virgo sort of lunar eclipse that was taking the light away from the feminine. And when the light doesn't shine on the feminine just disappears. She becomes like Echo to Narcissus, where she fades into nothingness. Another story for another day. The other thing with this Sun conjunct Neptune is a kind of struggle with our identity, feeling unsure about our life direction. And hi, wishing poor bloody freezing here in the UK. Yeah, colour. Actually, I have to say that the weather here in Gozo, just to make you all jealous, has just changed. I don't think we're quite out of the woods, but that was probably partly why I could wear a brighter colour, because it was warmer today. It was sunny. It was a bit hazy, but it's been a beautiful day. And that helps. That helps immensely. And I think if you do feel ungrounded over the next few days, it's about spending time in nature, setting clear intentions to maintain a sense of clarity. And remember, when the Sun is conjunct Neptune in Pisces, it's the last time any of us will experience the Sun conjunct Neptune in the sign of Pisces. It'll never happen for us again, because Neptune takes, I think it's 184 years to go around the zodiac. So none of us will be here the next time Neptune is in the sign it rules, Pisces. So moving on, I think we should move on to the spring equinox, because also I want to bring in the energy of that Aries point. So March the 20th, we have the spring equinox, and the Sun moves into Aries at 9:02 universal time. And as I said, remember, Europe and the UK are still on our winter time scale clock. So we don't have our daylight saving starting till the end of March, which is round about the 30th, 31st is when our clocks change here. I don't know why. Why can't it be the same all out throughout the world? I mean, you do wonder, don't you? Anyway, moving swiftly on. Been a bright, lovely day in Glasgow. Glad to hear it, AMAC. And Janice, you've got cold, bright weather. That's lovely. Sil, you've had extremely warm weather this past week. So it is turning, isn't it? It's on the turn. I have about a window of 3 days when I can wear this top because it's kind of like a knitted cotton. And then in 3 days' time, it'll be too hot and I can't wear it. It's crazy. So I'm just going to have to wear it for about 72 hours. And when the sun moves into Aries, it will move towards its conjunction with Venus. And of course, it will also have a conjunction with Mercury, but that's going to come the following week. So, and I will do astro bites for these. And you've had 30 degrees still. Oh gosh, no, that's too hot. You know, that's not what I like. I find that too hot. I'm good up until about 26 degrees centigrade, and then I'm lost. There's a loss of divine feminine and masculine, Nikki. Yeah, you're right. And I think what's happening, Nikki, and everyone, is the masculine on, say, that middle level, on that sort of level that we experience it. And please, gentlemen, do not take this personally. This is an observation of, through the astrology and the energy of what is happening to masculine energy, which links back to Pluto's departure from Capricorn and move into Aries, where Pluto was trying to break down the old order. And if we look at what is happening on the world stage, there is very clearly a move to break down the old ways of doing things. We are, as we all know, at a pivotal point in history on the world stage. We have to be, we have to be super careful as a planet to respond to the events as they unfold and not to react. We can collectively do that on an energetic level so that we intend common sense and peace, because the masculine, especially with our masculine leadership, are sadly, they are in decline because they are ego driven and mostly caught in, and this is a generalization, remember, this is a generalization. They are caught in this narcissistic kind of ego driven behavior. And the divine feminine and the feminine in general is being sidelined. And that's partly because, let's call them the old school, can feel the power of the feminine, can feel the power that's saying, you've gone too far now, enough. And they are going to hold on like crazy because they don't want to lose the way they're doing things. They don't want to lose the way that things have always been done. We've been going through this crisis for 2,000 years. We are coming to the end of it. Hopefully, I see it in my lifetime. Hopefully, so do you. But it still may take a while longer. But Pluto's moving to Aquarius, and when we get Uranus moving into Gemini in May, and get a glimpse, a taste, a flavor of what that energy, how that energy is going to wake us up, is going to give us free speech, is going to cut through all this rubbish about, there is no freedom. People keep saying they're bringing in freedom. They're not. We're more restricted than ever. So I'm thinking the image that came into my mind as I said that was of St. Patrick when he was a shepherd with his sheep. Well, it's interesting that to fulfill his destiny, he had to actually abandon his herd of sheep. I'm not quite sure what the metaphor is there, but it's something about letting go. And sometimes we have to make very hard decisions. Yes, Andy, you have a new Prime Minister, and it's Mark Carney. And I admire and respect him very, very much, because he actually, I would say, is the new masculine. I think Canada are in very good hands. He was governor of the Bank of England, and I've heard him talk many times on the news when he was governor of the Bank of England. He's a sound man. So he won't take any, from across the border. He will not be annexed. And that will not happen. So the sun moving into Aries is going to be a pivotal point for all of us, especially this year. It's going to really kind of give us that kickstart that we all need. We are, yes, Shirley, sacrifices. Yes, Jim, I've just caught sight of that. You cannot be truly fully masculine without restoration of divine feminine and balance. And that is what has got to redress. That balance has to redress. Until it does, we will be in this Groundhog Day. And my feeling as an intuitive, as an astrologer, as a human being, is that we are at a tipping point, and there will be a tipping point, and it will spill over, and there will be such a revolution of the new kind of feminine, the new masculine, let's call it that the old way cannot survive. It's in its death throes. It's just in its death throes. It will. Let's just talk a little bit more about this sun moving into Aries, because we have to remember this is a fresh start. It's a new beginning. It's rebirth. It's a new start. We really can. It's almost like it's the astrological new year. And it is almost as if it's a gateway to being able to see clearly how we can impact our future, whether it's personal or collective, in the best possible way, with the best possible intention. And when we have, you see, I think by midweek, by Thursday, there will be events happening that will shift the direction of the way things have been going, whether that's on a personal level or on the world stage. It really is a balance at that time between light and dark. It's the balance of the day and the night is the same length. And yes, Jim, time to flip the switch. Hi, Liz. Good to see you. And Aries asks us to be our true selves, to be authentic. This is where we need the balance. We need to find the balance before we dive into our plans, ideas, projects. We can't go in lopsided or limping. We need to have our feet solidly on the ground. Use the fire energy of Aries to progress forward. It's about setting clear and bold intentions, because I think our dreams and ideas of what we want for our future have been clouded and difficult to get hold of whilst the sun has been in Pisces. We need to take decisive action. And I think also to embrace spontaneity, follow our instincts, don't overanalyze, and just kind of recalibrate ourselves where we need to do that. It's fresh starts. It's having courage. It's having faith. Then the new can come in. So obviously I am going to do Astro Bites for all of these. So I will go into them in a little bit more depth when I pre-record them. But just moving on to next Sunday, which is March the 23rd, we have the Sun conjunct Venus. And as I said, I won't be here next Sunday because I'm going to see Fiddler on the Roof. If I were a rich man, and all that. So, yeah, Janice, okay, a holding month and now ready to go. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Shirley. You are welcome. And so Venus conjunct the Sun on March the 23rd in Aries. Let's just have a think about this, because this is blending again the kind of core self with the beauty and harmony and love that Venus can represent. And it's in Aries, fiery Aries. It makes this conjunction, I think it will have the effect of giving us confidence. We'll feel more enthusiastic about the way things are going. We'll be more direct. We will be much clearer. And I think we will find that we are attracting to us the people and the energy and the opportunities that we need. I think we will feel quite creative with this energy. And there'll be a strong sense with this energy of we have to be careful, because Venus, remember, can be luxury goods because it rules Taurus. It also, of course, rules Libra. So it can be a little bit like we rush out and buy something expensive. We think, oh no, I really shouldn't have done that. Or why did I click buy on the app? And so we must take it easy with that Venus conjunct the Sun, because that could just make us spend some money that we really didn't have or intend to spend at this moment. And be careful, because what you'll be doing is feeding a bit of you that is not getting fed somewhere else. You know, when we do make these rash impulse buys, we're filling an empty space. And it's not in our home or our cupboard, because in our cupboard, we're probably going, can I get it in? And we're actually filling an empty space within. So we need to have financial discipline next weekend. I want to just make that point. And to balance independence with the emotional depth we can have in relationships. So Sun conjunct Venus in Aries can create really vibrant, passionate kind of energies. And if we cultivate that energy in a good way, it can be really absolutely lovely. Let me see what you're saying, Jim. Penny, this is so beautiful. As you connect your way out of the fog, you are taking our hand and bringing us with you to emerging clarity. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, I've been in the fog. I've been in fog at night time. Just dark, dark fog. I have a word for the week, and then I'm going to do a tarot card for the week. The word for the week is fortune. And I chose that because I was thinking about fortune, luck, prosperity, Ireland, St. Patrick's Day, shamrocks. So we know the very famous quote, which is by Virgil, which is, "Fortune favours the bold." And you've been in the fog too, Liz. You will escape it, I can assure you. Nothing stays the same. The only constant thing in life is change. Thank God, we can say. Miguel de Cervantes said, "Diligence is the mother of good fortune." And Thomas Jefferson said, "The harder I work, the luckier I get." Because we do make our own luck. Idowu Koyenikan, who another name I cannot pronounce, opportunity does not waste time with those who are unprepared. And it's true. We have to be ready every second for an opportunity when it comes knocking. Thomas Fuller said, "A wise man turns chance into good fortune." There's an unknown quote here, which is rather interesting. "Fortune knocks but once, but misfortune has much more patience." Ain't that the truth? And there's another unknown quote here, which is, "Sometimes when things are falling apart, they may actually be falling into place." And we mustn't lose sight of that. And I know how difficult it is when we are in the dark. When we are in the dark and we can see nothing ahead of us, it is such a dark place to be. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Shallow men believe in luck. Strong men believe in cause and effect." Seneca said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity," which, is actually what Florence Scovel Shinn says in her book, Game of Life and How to Play It. Have your intention and then prepare the way. I think I used the analogy, I don't know whether it was in the Astrobite I've got for tomorrow, which is I say something about, the kettle isn't going to boil unless you switch it on. We can't expect the magic to happen unless we do something to encourage that magic. We give it permission. You're welcome, Em. You're welcome. Keep the faith. Yes, Shirley. Yeah. And Seneca said, "Fate leads the willing and drags along the reluctant." Interesting one. And let's see what else we have. We have, oh God, I do choose them. Demosthenes said, bear with me, "Small opportunities are often the beginning of great enterprises." And Napoleon Hill said, "Riches don't respond to wishes. They respond only to definite plans backed by definite desires through constant persistence." Now, as someone who has found a way to make a YouTube channel work, and it's working, I can say it didn't happen by chance. It happened by consistency and hard work and never stopping. And it taught me a huge, huge lesson. And I have enjoyed every step of the unfolding of the path that has opened up for me with this adventure. And Virgil finally said, "Fortune sides with him who dares." So that is also an interesting kind of way of thinking. But I think it's time to have our tarot card of the week. Are you still here, Wishing Pool Tarot? Because we might need your help on this one. Yes, Parry, every single moment is a new beginning. Oh, well, one's popped out. So it's this one, which, Four of Swords. One foot in front of the other, repeat as necessary. That's right, Jim. So we have the Four of Swords. So let's whiz it towards the camera. Well, my first reaction, as you saw from my face, was ugh. Yes, thank you, Wishing Pool Tarot, withdrawing. And I suppose if you think about it, we're in the darkest hour before the dawn, because with the equinox coming on Thursday, we are at that, the sun has been moving through Pisces slowly, slowly, slowly. And it has almost taken us down like it did Sedna to the very bottom of the ocean, and has just stripped us bare. But remember what happened to Sedna. She transformed into a sea goddess, and the limbs that were torn from her, because sometimes when we're in the dark, it can feel like we're ripped to bits. The limbs that were torn for her became the sea creatures. They found new life. Okay, Andy, you'd say rest after turmoil or challenges sounds about right with that card. Wishing Pool Tarot, you think it's time to withdraw, heal, not engage, with Mercury retrograde being about illusions. Let it pass and stay within yourself. Yes, after withdrawal must come transformative emerging. Oh, Tiffany, you want some rest? Oh, bless you. Bless you. It'll come. It'll come. I think you're all on the right page with this card. I think we've just got a few more days of this kind of darkest hour before the dawn. But the dawn does come, and the spring equinox is coming. And, you know, when it comes and we're in Aries and the energies shift and things start to change in a positive way, we can look back and look at how far we've come, how much we've grown from the experience we've had through this particularly challenging time of the sun in Pisces, with the new moon that we had in Pisces, conjunct Saturn. That was heavy. We've got Saturn, remember, still in Pisces, and we're going to have this huge amount of energy building up at the end of Pisces. So we're still going to be feeling that. Saturn, Neptune, the North Node, Venus, Mercury, all kind of in a tight stellium at the end of Pisces. Because remember, Venus and Mercury are retrograde, and they'll move back into Pisces. I've heard other astrologers say that this year is probably one of the most extraordinary years astrologically that they've ever experienced. And, you know, I'm still young at doing this on a regular basis, even though I've studied astrology for years. It took me a long time to come out and actually be brave enough to do this with you. And so it's, you know, I think that we just have to really be kind to ourselves and each other. If we can do that and send compassion, healing to the planet, because we know intention experiments work. So we need to do that. We need to send those positive intentions out. I'm just looking at your Tiffany. I know a 9-month-old active baby. Must be exhausting. Bless you, my love. So listen, I'm going to bring our wishing pool tarot. Look, what was at the bottom. The star, which I think was the card you pulled. So that's interesting. Confirmation. So yeah, interesting. So is Venus retrograde in the underworld right now? Venus has she gone? I think has she gone behind the sun? She certainly does go behind the sun. I can't remember. I'll put it in an astrobite. I'll talk about it in an astrobite because I'll have to look it up. Tis wishing. Tis wishing. Yes. Oh, guys, listen, I'm going to go. I want to wish you a fabulous day if it's still your morning. I want to wish you a lovely afternoon. I want to wish you a fabulous evening. Oh, Liz the Iron Maiden, star is your card. Aquarius, there you go. There you go. Yes, we have to treat ourselves with different types of things that are beneficial for the well-being and the need for a healthy and secure lifestyle. Totally. Wishing Pool Tarot, thank you. Thank you. And have a great week, everyone. Remember, I won't be here next Sunday. I'm having the night off, but I will be back the following Sunday. And then after that, there'll be the month ahead for April. We're nearly going to be in April. Can you believe that? Oh, listen, guys, you've all been awesome as usual. If I sound a bit flat, it's because I have been immensely tired too. It's just been like, and I feel kind of, when you feel grey and and old and so, but we will, and this too shall pass and we will get through this. So listen, guys, Andy, I hope you feel better. Thank you, Andy. I'm looking forward to the theatre. I think it will do me good. Ulrich, holy moly. You want to sleep too, Sil? Well, I'll tell you what, after I've switched everything off, it's nearly coming up to 7:10 here in Gozo. I'll be having a nice cup of tea and going to bed, I think. Find something on television to watch. April Fool's Day. That's when we're going to have our live month ahead. April Fool's Day. That gives me some ideas, doesn't it? Anyway, my darlings, loads of love to you all, Soul Fam, and please take care. And I really look forward to seeing you very soon. Remember, there's an astrobite going up tonight, and that'll be for the energies of tomorrow. So take care. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Nearly forgot. And if you want a session with me, I do have some spaces available. So email me. Make sure you let me know what your time zone is, because I'm damned if I can work it out. I'm really in a bit of a discombobulated state. See you, Carrie. See you on Thursday. You're also welcome. You are also welcome. Oh gosh. Okay. Bye, Poonam. I know I'm seeing you soon as well. And take care. And see you soon. Bye for now. Bye. Bye.